been on it about his business since I jumped up off the post. Do your Googles, do your research, ask about me, boy, I go super hard. When it comes down to the Lord. Got them all singing, oh Lord. This boy here so raw. Oh my God, since legit when I jumped off the post, I've been swinging, that's all that I know. That shit. They forgot I go hard when they don't. You see, never stop, it's okay. I reload. How did they even question where my head is at? Leveling up and losing, no, we dead in there. Sorry for the confusion.
Yo, what's up, man? Y'all know what it is, man. We gonna keep it going, man. We got a super special one tonight, man. We got a veteran. I got my co-host, Honey J. What's
up? We back, y'all. Let's go. With one of our favorites.
Right. Veteran, man. You know what I'm saying? We got
Stratford.
Cris, One-Choyce Joyce, CEO of Winfluencer Media, gospel rapper, producer, Charleston veteran.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying, man? Go ahead.
Podcast.
Hey,
all that. We can
I know this much. You got me sounding real good.
Right, man.
That's a strong intro right there.
Appreciate that.
You know what I mean? Legend and all that. I don't know, but yeah, definitely, man. Well, first of all, appreciate y'all having me on.
Man, that's what's up, man.
Thank you so much. Great to meet you.
Right.
Yeah, man. Hey, let's just have some fun. You know what I mean?
Do,
for sure. Yeah,
for sure.
We're gonna go ahead and start from the beginning. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
You know, I talked to Moon, and he was giving me some history on how we already done mix a little bit.
Yeah.
As far as the production and down bottom records and all that.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So I know you're a producer and an artist. Are you an artist or a producer first?
Producer first.
Right.
Okay.
Producer first. And I say the funny thing about the artistry really came as a result of producing, having thoughts, but not always having somebody to do the music.
Right.
So I have ideas.
Okay.
Now you start laying it down.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you got records. You know what I mean?
Oh, you got some great ideas.
Yeah,
From what I heard.
And longevity, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember you was part of group Crane and A1.
Crane and A1. Yep. That's my guy. Still
Till
best
today,
friends.
right?
Yeah,
All right.
yes, sir.
So what happened with that, and how did the movement?
So basically, long story short,
right.
So we don't have to prolong it,
Yeah,
but
for sure.
So my partner, we was in a group for I want to say maybe 13 years.
Right.
And at the time, he had just got married, had a baby on the way, and was like, listen, I got to put the music down for a little while. You know, and that's life.
You gotta do that. That's a man.
Yeah. Life will life, and but he's still very involved even to this day. More so on the idea side, and still the production side, not so much the artist side. But I'm talking him back into it. I think he's
a producer also.
Yeah, and that's kind of how we really connected on the music side first before we actually got to the writing. So yeah,
man, that's what's up, man. And one of the things I found out, is like you produced the one of my favorite songs that we ever did was "Hungry." Listen, that's right. And then we had that Goose, Cris, Tude, and what's crazy? That's right now it's a lost album for us.
Really?
It's like the Love of the Chuck. It was on Love of the Chuck. It's a lost album for us. And I know one person got the album and they got it in a safe and all kind of stuff. But the story be told.
Okay.
So it's not been somewhere. But it's a great album. How we keep it, especially if it's lost like it is.
Right.
It had a lot of great production. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For sure, you know what I mean?
Wonderful. Well, like I said, I was proud to be a part of it.
Man, proud to have you at the time. Man. We ain't know no better.
Exactly.
Everything behind you drop. Back then, everything behind you drop.
Okay.
Fuck production and all that. But you delivered good production, and we ended up putting in the album, and that was hard, man. And that's crazy, like I said, man. It's crazy how we got a small world. Everybody come back around.
Right.
Your world, in my opinion, is dedicated to bringing stuff like this to the forefront.
Sure.
Charleston, and all that. So that's what's up, man. So we want to talk more about. We're gonna move on to your brand, man.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? 'Cause, you're the CEO.
I am.
How you say it?
Winfluencer. Media.
Winfluencer strategy.
Yeah.
And logos, and when I looked at all the things that it entitles, it's all you do everything on that thing, man.
Man, I do everything.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I dabble in a little bit of everything.
Okay.
So everything from graphics to visuals, video, editing. Man, you pretty much name it. I got my hands in it a little bit, if not a lot of it.
So do you provide a service for?
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Yeah, definitely. So pretty much anything on the media side of the fence that somebody wants to look into getting into.
Right.
Even if it's just social media management, anything like that. Yeah,
man, I need
take
all
care.
that, man.
Right,
Let's connect.
I was gonna say, for those who are just starting out, how important is it to have the right social media presence?
Yeah.
And let's say you don't. Can you bounce back? Can you restart? Can you talk about that a little bit?
So social media is just one of the funny things where you can see what seems like somebody makes an overnight success.
Right.
And they might have been doing it for a long time. They might have taken a break, kind of regroup, figure out what I want to do next. So you might see somebody just remake themselves in a sense, recreate their brand in a sense, or just take their brand to another level by getting with somebody such as myself. Kind of figuring out the direction of the brand, what they want to do, how they want to do it. Of course, I would just give my little bit of expertise. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, a lot of it.
I was about to say, don't even do that.
Let me not even lie to y'all. It was but things along that nature where I just kind of help drive the goal, whatever that may be.
Right.
Yeah, so
because one of the things that I've noticed in Charleston, being a girly, there are a lot of boutiques. They're like hidden gems all over the place, right? And it's one of those things like if you know, you know.
Right.
But you don't really hear about it. You don't see it on social media.
Right.
And do you feel like the social media presence can make or break the brand? Like if you're not, right? At
Definitely.
all. But then you see like, they say like luxury businesses, right? Like Rolls Royce. You'll never see the commercial.
Right.
So what is the difference, right?
Well, before you answer that question,
go ahead.
I'm gonna go ahead and pop this bottle real quick.
Go ahead, pop the bottle, man.
I know you don't drink or nothing like that.
It's all right.
But you know, we gonna celebrate you though.
That's all right.
You know what I'm saying?
I'll take the celebration.
Yeah, we gonna get it, man. So the Don Lucci, man.
Okay, all right.
Locally owned, like I said.
Yeah, I saw you just had a show.
Yeah.
Salute to y'all.
Great. Thank you.
If you need some help with the brand and social media, holla at your boy.
That's what it's all about.
We keeping it all in the family. You know what I'm saying?
Connecting and working together, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Keeping it in house.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's all good.
With the Charleston brand, though, specifically, right? How do you feel like the social media is making or breaking some of the businesses around here?
Yes. So I would say it's really just perspective, right?
Right.
So because Charleston is pretty small, in a sense, and a lot of people know each other, sometimes we can kind of get used to just promoting to each other.
Right.
Whether that be word of mouth or just, family members, friends, whatever. I would just love to see, not just, I don't want to say for lack of excellence, something like that, but I just think there's a big world out there, right? Now, even though some people may have hands-on services, like hair or things like that, but, I mean, listen, funny thing about it is, because the world is now integrated with social media, you will be surprised what may catch steam somewhere else in the world.
Right.
And it might be some hair. It might, whatever. I don't know what you might make wigs. I don't know, whatever it is. Yeah. But you might just be surprised for some reason you catch steam in Paris or something, right? But if you never promote it, you would never know it. And that can literally be like your golden ticket, right?
Right.
So I just hope that, and hey, if you need to holler at me, but that we just look at what we do as global. Or the possibility to be global.
Right. Absolutely.
Because it's just so much more than just Charleston. I love Charleston, of course.
Right.
Born and raised.
It's small, right?
But it's very insulated. So I think that, with all of the talent that's here, right? Man, it's a big world.
Right.
And I believe they would love to see and experience what we have to offer.
Yeah, and we got stuff that you can't get from nowhere else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very authentic.
Exactly. So it's just all about catching on. Right.
From your experience, you hear a lot of people talk about the algorithm.
Yeah.
Right? And so what do you recommend as far as tricking the algorithm per se? Or like one of my, I guess, questions would be, how often do you need to post, right?
Well, before you answer that, I want to elaborate on it. Like, because one of the things I've dabbled in was SEO. Right, and just could you explain that, add that to the question, because I know that if you into that like that, you should,
Yeah, so when you say SEO, you're saying search engine optimization.
There
Basically meaning how you rank, how often you come up, there's a Google search, or even if just somebody puts in a keyword, how it hits the internet, right? Like you're saying, you're on the podcast right now. So just a quick little idea. If you niche down in a sense, just simply meaning because we are based out of Charleston, right?
Right.
I'm not sure how many podcasts Charleston has, but if you just something as simple as hashtagging just one really unique, whatever that may be, but tagging Charleston in on it, right? So that the geotags start to hit as you do that.
Right.
Eventually, and y'all have been mad consistent as of recent. Like I told you, I saw a lot of stuff you've been putting out, your clips and stuff like that. So the more consistent you are with that, adding in a geotag element to it, and there's a little more to that, but
of course,
having that be in the algorithm so it starts to pick up more and more. Right. So you're seeing more and more. Which you're doing a good job anyway. Right. You know what I mean? But it can always be a little more.
Of course,
right?
Yeah, you want to grow.
So just some little things little adjustments.
Right.
That I like to just say to people. Little adjustments you might be able to make as far as how much you post. That can be a little tricky depending on what you're doing.
Okay, sure.
Because some people, they build a lot of steam around major drops. Right, so if it's like a collection or something, that's not going to be like every week per se.
Right, for sure.
Maybe here and there, but as long as it's engaging, you can have one piece of content that can last you for a while. But we do know, of course, frequency does run the algorithm on a major scale, right? So I would say maybe 3 times a week, if not like you're doing your reels. Some people do like 3 times a day.
Right. That's what I'm
saying.
Some people say morning, noon, night.
Right. And again, for me, I think really brand awareness will drive. Once you get an idea of your brand awareness and who you're going for, it'll kind of give you an idea when to post, how to post. So you kind of, because you might be doing too much, you might be doing too little. You know what I mean? But everything is kind of specific to the brand. So you really have to kind of dig into what they want to do, the end goal. And that way you can kind of get a plan together for how they should, approach it.
And that's why you need choice, people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
you
why,
can't do all this by
that's why we need choice, man.
Hey, you already hollered at me.
I can tell by the way you talking that, saying you already, the way you was talking about, other countries and all that tapping in, you see the broadness that's needed in order to get out of a small city like this. You know what I'm saying? So one of the things, I'm gonna touch base with you, is like, let you see, the inside of, my YouTube page and see, because it might be stuff you can see. You can say, oh man, you need to do more of this, less of this. This is your area, stuff like that, man. So that's gonna be what's up, man.
And I know what you're saying is true because we just had a guest recently from Charleston, and she said her biggest fan base is Nigerians, Australians, and New Yorkers. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't even know why.
It's just really how the algorithm is. I mean, I'm in a similar boat. New York is one of my biggest areas that I have a great response or rapport with a lot of New Yorkers. Germany, I was looking at some analytics yesterday. Germany, I don't know how. I don't know. You know what I mean? So it's just. Yeah.
Heard they like black men.
But you have a lot of soldiers in Germany as well.
That's
you know
true.
What I'm saying? So it may be a lot of American soldiers who catch on. Right.
So, but it's things like that, that you may not take into account, but it means a lot. So you can be worldwide without even really. So let's say somebody who's stationed in China, but they're from Charleston,
right?
Who's familiar,
sure.
And then they like what they see. And then they begin to put their whole platoon on.
Right.
This is my people from back home. Check them out.
Yeah.
Now you're in what?
Hey, support and subscribe, man, because that's how it don't take much, man.
It don't take much.
It
don't take much. Word of mouth.
And once you build that momentum,
that's it.
How do you stay there for the people? Like
consistency.
Gotta keep feeding them, right?
Consistency.
Yeah.
I'll say one of the hardest things for me has been because I'm dealing with different people that I work with. And I'm like laser focused on their brands. I have to remind myself sometimes I gotta promote my brand as well. But you be so locked in, which is it's a good and a bad thing.
And you want to drop a great product, so you gonna yourself. You critique yourself. When you providing the service, that's important because you're gonna deliver. You know. So
and what we also know too is a lot of times people who are results driven. They don't always tend to be in front of the camera as much. Because we just got our hands in a lot of stuff.
But
I pop out every now and again. I get on there. You know what I mean?
Oh, we gonna get in there. You pop out a lot.
A little bit.
We gonna get in there.
A little bit.
Now and again.
Every now and again.
You know what I'm saying? Because I was sending it to her, and I was sending a show, and then she would send me back on what to put in my title, what to put in my description,
right?
And I would copy it and paste it. And as soon as I copy and paste it, blam, the views start going up. And I'm like, God damn, like, oh my God, this is what I want. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it was crazy because I would take that and try to put it in other shows that I didn't fuck with her on.
Yeah.
And it didn't work.
It didn't work. Right.
Okay, so what happened?
Right. So, not to
right. Too hard to know more.
So pretty much, the easiest way I can say it is, so there are crowds for everything, right?
Okay.
So like, say if you're, give a little sauce. So say if you were running ads, right? So you're going to promote to a crowd.
Right.
Sounds to me, man, I don't know if I can say all this on the...
Man, get it out. I need to know.
I'm just telling y'all.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to give y'all this all. Well, so anyway, so it sounds like it was being promoted to a specific crowd that she had created.
India.
That's
right.
I saw got a lot of Indian type promotion. I saw the analytics. And I was like...
Yeah.
And I was like, damn. And then you see, I see the videos where they got that one Indian guy and he got 30 phones in front of him. And he doing this. And I was like, I do not want that.
Yeah, no, you don't want bots.
You know, but the thing that made me comfortable with it was I saw the subscription go up with the views.
Right.
And that made me feel more, because if I was like, man, if the views go up and the subscriptions don't go, it don't make sense.
Nah. It really doesn't, but what we've learned recently, man, what you'll see more over 2025 and going into 2026 is, yes, it's about subscribers, but it's really just more about engagement.
True.
Right.
Where, especially coming from an independent world, I know we'll probably talk about that later on. Coming from the independent world, let's say you'll have, quote unquote, a big artist. Let's say they got 200,000, whatever.
Right.
But you might have an artist that got 20,000, 2,000.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're literally touching 60 to 70% of their actual fan base,
right,
they're really doing better than the person who got 200,000.
Right.
And especially if you even get to the monetizing part of it.
Right.
That's a whole nother.
Yeah, because you got to have the watch hours.
Yeah. I mean, so
and that's engagement.
It is engagement, but even with the watch hours, it matters.
Right.
But so, for instance, let's say if you only had like 20 subscribers.
Right.
But if 10 of those subscribers is messing with you.
Right, for sure.
And out of those 10, 5 of them bought a t-shirt from you.
Yeah. That's another thing you got to dip into.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So again, numbers matter, but like the engagement and actually touching them in a real way to where they're feeling what you're doing.
Right.
Because some people, which I tend to battle a little bit with people, I'm like, man, if you like it, tell people.
Yeah.
But some people are like, man, nah, I want to hold it because they feel like this is something that's theirs. You know what I mean?
They're little secret.
Yeah, like this is my, like, oh man. It's like, so some people don't want it to go too far.
Right.
Because it's like, man, I like it
they
the
way it is. They want to keep it personal and start changing on you. Right.
So you see both sides of it. Like some people, they love the show and they'll just tell everybody about it. Some people like, yeah, that's my people from Charleston. Yeah, you know what I mean? So they just like it like that. But I still say engagement trumps everything, no matter what your numbers are.
And when you mean by engagement, you mean communicating when they talk or when they comment
or they like
feedback. Even just like now when I came in and I just said, yeah, man, I'm seeing you.
Right, for sure.
You know what I mean? When you're getting those feedback, whether it's live like this, online, DM, whatever. But you're knowing it's making an impact.
Gotcha.
Right? Now the algorithm being so tricky, you can have thousands of followers. It's only going to show it to a percentage of it. Right. Unless you're doing ads.
Right.
So if it's only showing to a percentage of it, you got to maximize that percentage.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So as long as that percentage is messing with you, you're still going to be doing good.
Right.
And just know it takes time. Everything takes time.
And you know, talking to you, man, I can tell how important it is to have that service because you put in a lot of work creating, social media, content.
Right.
And be something simple like that, not knowing that part of it, the picture in front of the right people. And now, I used to look back at, when I first started out, I think my first show had like 400 views.
Yeah.
And I didn't appreciate it. I was like, man, it's supposed to be more. And, as I transitioned into the field, I realized, man, that was big. For your first show,
400.
Yeah. Right. And now, the way we're moving now, I'm not getting that. But I appreciate the 140 and the 200
you got
and
it.
the 365 so much more.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying, it's just organic.
Right. And that means more in the long run.
Right.
Brick by brick.
And one of the things I ain't coming here, but you know,
no,
I'm gonna use some of your expertise.
Yeah.
Is I want to do more QR code boots on the ground because we do be out in the scenes a lot, and we having a good time.
Right.
And I think when people see you having a good time, you can hand them a product or a QR code.
Right.
They can be like, oh man, I'm having a good time. Let me check out, see what they got going on. And I really feel like that's our next step is actually, like you say, touching people, doing little events, handing out QR codes. You hand out 100 of them, you might get 20. But that's still 20 hands-on subscribers that you really can see. Yeah. You be like, oh shit, damn, I don't got that ball. So that's what's up.
And that's a component too that has kind of been missed in the last couple of years because everything is so online.
Right.
So people don't really do a lot of hand-to-hand, personable talking to people anymore. Right. But you notice the people who still do that are the ones that are
successful.
Brick by brick, of course, but it's a little more successful because people now, they got to feel for you as a person, feel for you as a host.
And it's a solid foundation.
They invested.
And that's the key. And again, it's not overnight.
Right.
5 years from now, you look back on it. I remember the days of 150.
Right.
But you're gonna love it though, because again, going back, and you actually said something very important, which the algorithm, social media, money, it kind of messes a lot of things up because people lose the love for it.
Exactly.
And I saw that, man.
People really lose work the love. And you're worried about all the
I walk in here like, man, goddamn, I got to keep this thing going.
Yeah. But before it's just I was having fun on camera, having conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Back to that, man.
Yeah. So sometimes you got to kind of, bring it back a little bit.
We've been talking about that,
Yeah, and just have fun.
Reinvent your situation.
Yeah, just have fun. Yeah, that's good.
So you have any more questions on this topic?
No, only just the fact that we can clearly see why you were recognized.
Okay.
Let's talk about your recognition.
That was the next move.
Being a black creative in Charleston.
Yes.
How did it feel being recognized by your community?
So how did it come about?
So, interesting enough, again, I got my hands on quite a few things. So one of my more recent endeavors is I've been helping people create books.
Okay.
Whether it's just flip books, online books, children's books, stuff like that. And so within that, people who are looking into getting some children's books made, my name began to kind of travel in that circle a little bit. And so some people got, put up on to what I do. And I was like, listen, however it comes across, however people find out about me, I'm just always appreciative.
Right.
And after they figured out I did books and things like that, they started looking just like you guys did, started looking into the other things I did. Like, man, this guy is, he does his thing.
Oh yeah, you're versatile, man. I don't know what you don't do.
I don't know some days. Yeah. And so it's a blessing. It was a blessing.
Right.
I'm very appreciative. Shout out to Imagine Me Creatives. Thank you for the the nomination. I humbly accept, of course.
Right.
But it was great. It was great.
Right.
Yeah.
So you got nominated and you won, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Awesome.
How did that process go about? How did they communicate with you?
Man, it was email. By email. I saw the email. You have been nominated. I was like, oh shoot. So they need some information from me, and then just the process. I was like, oh man. So next thing I know, hey, I'm in there.
There you go.
Right. That's impact.
So the award, did you have to go and receive the award? Did you?
Well, it was online. It was digital.
Okay.
But it's still good. Yeah.
No, it was great.
All recognition is great.
Good.
Yes, indeed.
Right.
We're very proud of you.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
Proud to have you, man.
Hey, man, I'm proud to be here.
Again, man.
One more time for the one time.
20 daps tonight, man.
20 daps.
You saying some real shit, though.
Thank you, man.
I'm glad to have you, bro.
Yeah, glad to be here.
And so we can move on to you're a gospel rapper, right?
Okay. Yes, sir.
So you was a hip hop artist, right? In the beginning.
Yeah.
How did the transition of you becoming a gospel rapper happen?
Man, so the short of it, right? So always had a love for music. And my first actual group member was my older brother. My older brother got me into music. We're 4 years apart, my brother Derek. And man, he just kind of showed me the ropes. And so he actually went down to school in Atlanta at Morehouse for college.
Okay.
And that's kind of when I really started kind of getting my feet wet in the group here, creating A1.
Right.
And I just really remember, man, him coming back, bringing music back from Atlanta that hadn't been released yet. Kind of keep me up on what's going on outside.
Because Atlanta was it at that time.
You're in Charleston, not really hearing what the world has going on, right? And man, I just fell in love with it even more. I remember the first time I heard Outkast.
Right.
Yes.
And that was one of the first Southern songs that really was mainstream.
Right. Yeah, and I heard it early. Right. So it really hadn't come out everywhere yet. But again, he was in Atlanta. So I just remember just hearing music, new music. Always, again, I always had a love for music. Always had a love for writing. Producing came a little later on. As far as like subject matter, I was never like really too crazy with the subject matter anyway. You know what I mean? Right. If life is going to reflect your art, like my mom, she's always been heavy into the church. Pops, he used to sing a little bit. So there was always that component anyway. Okay. You know, even since a little boy, you know what I mean? Sure. And just, of course, church every Sunday, all throughout the week, you know what I mean? Right. So that never really left me, even when, you know, I did take my 2 steps to the side, you know. As we got a little loose in the street a little bit, you know what I mean? So yeah, man, it's just really coming back full circle. Starting out that way, you know, dabbling a little bit. And then my partner, you know, he's always been with me as far as on the gospel rapper side. Okay. So as we came together as a group, that began to flourish, you know, and then, because our thing really was, we just had to make sure it was tight. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it gotta sound good.
Man, you know, like,
you know what I'm saying?
People have tried it, right?
They tried.
And they failed. And then you got some big stars. I don't want to put them out there too bad, but Will Smith, you know, you just, you know what I'm saying? Like, how have you been able to find that lane where you don't have to cuss, you don't have to talk about nothing crazy? You know, the sound is dope.
Thank you.
First of all, let's just say that. So
appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know,
dope. Tight work.
Yeah, just so again, my love for music kind of drives those sensibilities, kind of how I approach making the song, how I approach making the music. So it's a art that goes to it as well. You know what I mean? For sure. So I don't leave that just because I have a different message. For sure. Which some people tend to do. You know what I mean? They'll have a message, but then everything else is lacking. And then the flip side, sometimes you have good music, but you ain't talking about nothing. You know what I mean? So I like being a balance. I like being a balance.
Listen, you are so versatile, though.
Thank you.
And I was telling him, I think one of the things I admire, because I've listened to almost every album from 2017 to current.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Okay, you went crazy.
Deep dive.
I'll take in there.
Thank you.
And I enjoyed every minute of it.
Awesome. Thank you.
But you've been able to keep up with the times with your music. You got some trap, you got some like Afro beats, you got some like Caribbean vibes, you have some like neo soul, a little bit of R&B. What is the creative process like? And coming out and figuring out what you want to put out when?
Right. So again, that kind of goes back to me being a producer first.
Of course.
So being a producer first, I just love all kinds of music, you know. And I'm not really scared to try.
Clearly.
A lot of people be scared to try. You know, like they'll like it, they don't want to give it a try. I'm like, man, I think I'll be all right doing that. So I'm gonna do an Afrobeat song. You know, I'm gonna rap, and then I might do a little R&B. So it's just like I'm not afraid to try, even if I'm not the best at it. Right. I think that me knowing my skill set, I can kind of go within that lane a little bit and kind of stay in my lane, but still try different things. So I'm willing to try anything as long as it feels natural to me.
All right. I want to take you down memory lane with the music for a second.
I'm good. I got a lot built up.
No, get it off. Get it off.
So this is really one of the things that, you know, especially with you being a gospel rapper. You know, for one, I checked out some of your music, man, and I'm going to go over the ones, you know, like Lord Knows. You know, that seems like it got like a street vibe.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. Then, you know, I heard Vibing. Yeah. And that kind of was like a stunting vibe. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And, you know, you had I Salute, which is like an anthem. Right. Type song, you know what I'm saying? You also had, what, Giving It Up. Yeah. And, you know, and the thing about it that I want to get to is, I'm old school gospel. Right. I enjoy old school gospel. Yeah. I used to ride my mom and come on in the room. Yeah, all that. And I'm moving up the mountain. Yeah. Praying the devil down. So I always kind of had an issue with gospel rap. Okay. Because I was talking to Moore earlier about it. He's like, man, that'd be good hot for the show, man. So he was like, what do you like? And I prefer to receive my gospel in that manner.
Right.
But hearing your work, and even Kurt Franklin and stuff like that, it puts me in a weird space because I know what I like.
Right.
I enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah.
But
sure.
I be riding and I be turning up, and I'm like, hold on.
You gotta hold on. Let it go, man. Let it go. Let it out.
I throwing up Christian game times, man. I got my Baptist beat.
Let it out.
I'm a Baptist beat. And like I said, I enjoy it. But it's always been a weird place because I love it. I be at work and I be getting frustrated. I'll sing old gospel. Tell them what it is. Jesus on the main. I'll be like, if I'm struggling at work, I sing gospel.
Tap in. Yeah.
And it get me through. You know what I'm saying? So have you received that in dealing with gospel rap?
Yeah. That,
the people that they want it a certain way, change is difficult.
Yeah.
So,
for a long time. So you've been having done it for as long as we've done it back in the group, as far as the group goes. Man, we've seen both sides of the fence.
Sure.
Some people will love it. A lot of pushback in our early days. Matter of fact, we were shout out to my man Aaron, my guy, so back when we were 17 and 18, back when the Inn Club, of course, when the Inn Club closed, it turned into a restaurant.
I remember that club.
Heaven's Bread. It was Heaven's Bread. And we actually endeavored to do a Christian nightclub.
Okay, well, damn.
Okay.
Yeah, at young teenagers. Right?
We need one. Tell me how that worked out.
Now see.
It seems complex.
Very complex. You know what I mean? So you had both sides of the fence. So people our age loved it.
Right.
Older folks, you're going to hell, sir. You're going to hell.
And that's what it is.
But again, you know what I think it is? You have to recognize who you call to.
Right.
You know what I mean? And also know everybody, regardless of whether you're doing music, gospel, regular, whatever you're doing, not everybody gonna like you nowhere.
Right.
You just have to be cool. You got to be good in your skin. If you're good in your skin, I think you'll be all right. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But if you look for validation for the outside, man, listen. If you live for the applause, you'll die by the criticism.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So you gotta.
Yeah.
Hey man.
And I'm gonna make a statement on that because I think it's even though I feel that way about it. Like I said, I enjoy it, and I think that's what you have to do to connect with the youth.
Right.
I then went to churches that were different from the church I grew up in. My churches have the organ.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, welcome. And then, my wife particularly, she then took me to churches that, it's theatrical.
Yeah.
They add art to it. It's youthful. Like my church, old.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Old.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Most of us came up that way.
And then I go to this church and it's like youthful and the kids involved and I think I went to church and they did Parents Don't Understand, Will Smith.
Yeah.
Right, and they redid it and they added that and they had a car show.
Oh, wow.
For Father's Day.
Okay.
I love that place.
Yeah.
A coffee shop. I'm like, man.
It's nice.
Yeah, like I need to go to
amenities.
I need to go to church.
I like this.
Daycare.
Yeah.
I need to go to church more often.
Right.
Because my church, I go there, my tithe.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say that, Lord, please forgive me, but it's real.
I understand.
And I just want to say that that's what needs to be done. Mm-hmm. Keep doing what you're doing, no matter how the older generation. I'm one of them. I'm trying to convert back.
Yeah, me too. I've actually been around a while. Yeah. So
but that's how you have to reach the kids. You're battling all kind of stuff out there in the streets. You know what I'm saying? So the music must somehow represent, but still at the same time have a different message.
Yeah,
good job, man.
Sure. Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
For sure, because I was gonna say, how you've been in the game for a very long time.
Good while.
What changes have you seen in the industry that's really affected the way that you pivot or you've had to move?
So much. Really, just to keep it kind of short and sweet, I'd say approach to everything is different. Much different now. To be honest, most people just don't know what they want to do. You know what I mean? And you can hear it in what's being delivered. Cause, whether you don't understand what somebody's saying or, you do understand what they're saying or even just how the music comes out now, You know, because of course I come back from the, and you know, even back down bottom, we come back from the city era. You know what I mean? So I've seen every change. You know what I mean? Everything from the way it goes out to the things that we were just talking about, and the way we talk about it.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And so coming to now, like going back to what you were saying, you just had to be kind of creative on staying relevant, one, but how you stay relevant.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But still staying true to yourself in the process.
Right.
Because a lot of people kind of get, you know, tempted to, man, I'm just do it the way they do it. It's like, if that's not really you,
for sure.
Or
it's not gonna work.
Yes, it just people kind of see through it.
Yourself,
so I'm glad you mentioned that because one of the things that we kind of see is people kind of come into the game authentically themselves. They have a vision for how they want to represent themselves.
Right.
But then we hear stories of how they get into contracts and things they don't have self autonomy anymore.
Yeah.
You know, their visions are pushed to the side and now they're put out there this way. What do you say to the people? Is the contract the better way or is independent the better way versus?
It's the goal. It's the goal. Like, so for instance, I had a conversation with a good friend of mine years ago when we first started collaborating on music. Shout out to my man Richie in New York. So he asked me a question because he had a good sized following, very impactful, and he just asked me just straightforward. He said, "Well, do you want to be famous or do you want to be impactful?"
Okay.
Right.
And I was like, well, I prefer to be impactful. He's like, good. He says, I don't know how to make you famous.
Right.
But he just told me straight up, he's like, I'm not really famous, but I can kind of show you some things on how to be impactful. So you got to kind of ask those questions. You know, unfortunately, I know we see it a lot now where people will really do anything for fame.
Yeah.
They don't care what they got to do.
That's social media.
Oh, man. Anything for the algorithm, anything to try to get some type of look. But then it's just so quick.
Yeah.
They don't last long.
Right.
You know, because they just did something real fast, you know. Instead of kind of just taking your time, figuring out who you are, what you like going even back to how you talk about the podcast, doing it for fun.
Right.
Would you do it for no money?
Right.
You know what I mean?
True. Right.
Do you do it because you love it? You know? Because money will find you if you love it. You know what I mean? But if you're doing it, man, I got to make some money,
And
you'll always be trying to find money.
Enjoy it if it brings it's therapeutic.
Right.
I mean, it's doing something for you.
Right. To me, I believe that.
Yeah, for sure.
I believe that. So to shortly answer your question, I know when I'm all the way around the
block. Oh, you're good. You're good. You dropped your gem.
Just how things have changed, you just gotta stay yourself. You gotta stay yourself and consistently be yourself, even through changes. You know, now you can be creative and find a way to have a happy medium where, so even during the mumble rap phase, not so much. It is still now not as much as it was. So I might get on a similar type of track, but I still gotta be me. You know what I mean? No, I can't do it. That's just not me. You know. So just find creative ways to stay in the loop, but you don't necessarily have to mimic anybody else.
For sure.
That's what I was
saying.
saying.
And I know you probably haven't gotten into all of this.
Okay.
But there is a dark side to the industry, right? And how do you kind of stay away from that? How do you, for the people, because I know for myself, right? If I hear somebody say, oh, I want to be famous, I want to get into the industry, I'm looking at them like, for real? After everything we done seen, everything on the news, everything that's going on, you know, all the gatekeeping, why would you want to put yourself in that position?
I don't know.
What do you say to the people? Is there a way to avoid? Can you get to the top?
Morals? Well, I'll say this. You have to ask yourself what your top is, though.
Okay.
So for instance, some people may say, you know, and I've said this multiple times. I say I don't necessarily be famous, but you know, if I have a nice amount of money, I'm living comfortable, you know, kids good, family good, wife good, I'm good. You know,
rich,
that's super rich.
Right.
You know, but some people they want it all.
They got to be known.
You know, so you got to kind of figure out what's your top, what's success to you. You know, you woke up this morning. For some, that's success. Other people, like, they hate their life. Like, I don't care. I don't want to, you know. So it just, again, it kind of depends on what you define as your top and the route you want to take to get there. I know for me, I just
what's your top?
Oh, my top?
You've done a lot.
Yeah, I mean, freedom to create and live comfortable.
Man.
That's
you know,
beautiful.
Happy, freedom to create.
Right.
You know, wake up every day, do what I love to do. Like I said, family good, kids good, wife good, friends good, associates good, business good.
Yeah, do that over here, man. Me catch that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. But that would be success for me. Some people like, man, I need M's, I need this, I need that.
Right.
They may. I don't necessarily need that. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not saying I'm trying to be broke, though.
Right.
Of course. Nobody want to be broke.
Right. Broke. Yeah, I can't do that.
Recently Kurt Franklin went down here or whatever. You know, one of the things that came up to my attention was like, they were saying he had all these bodyguards and stuff.
Did he?
Yeah, like he borrowed 50 Cent bodyguard.
Really?
And people don't know 50 Cent got one of the most elite bodyguards.
Okay.
They really, one of the rules is really they got to jump in front of a bullet for him. Like, I don't know how they gonna
that
prove
what they say. Word on the street now.
Word on the street, allegedly. I don't know how they gonna prove that because if the dude don't jump in the bullet, that means he ain't hit.
Right.
But so do a gospel rapper need all that security? And if you need that security, did I say something about how you moving?
I'll say this. This is what I will say. I don't necessarily know if it's the gospel side or the celebrity side.
Yeah.
Right? Because you can be a gospel artist and don't never need...
Yeah, for sure.
But certain people have a certain level of celebrity that just attracts stuff.
For sure.
Right?
Right.
Because if somebody assumes you have something more than the average, you know what I mean? Some people want it by all means, you know what I mean? So I'm not necessarily mad at somebody having personal protection.
Right.
Again, it kind of just depends on how you're moving. You know, where you at, what's the circumstance. I don't necessarily know if you need 50 Cent bodyguards per se. But again, I don't. There's so many things that happen that we don't know about.
True. Yeah, but
he might have some threats on his life. I don't know. You know what I mean?
And he probably do. You never know when you're that successful, you're gonna have.
Yeah. I think it's more celebrity culture. You know what I mean?
God protect you though, right?
I believe it.
So, and that, one of the things I always have a problem with, especially with, and since you're a gospel rapper, and, you're in the church, and we all come up in the church. Right. And I can have this conversation with you. One of the things I always have a problem with is preachers getting too successful. I feel like, my dad is a deacon, and, my brother, and, I remember I brought this to them, and he's like, well, why the preacher can't live good instead of the third? I'm like, that's cool. You can have a nice car, you can have a nice home. Right. But, I ain't saying no names, but when you start having 2 and 3 Lear jets and 4 or 5 Bentleys, it's like, don't it's supposed to get to a point where you good and the money go back into the congregation? Like, and I think money, celebrityism corrupts anything. Man, and I feel like when preachers get to that status, not to say I might be wrong. I know I'm right in some situations, because it just hasn't been shown. That when you get to that point where you got 3 and 4 Lear jets and 3 and 4 Bentleys, it's like, how do you really stay humble when you doing how you not get caught up? Right. How do you feel about it?
So there's a couple ways to look at it. I would say, let's hypothetically say there's a preacher and he has millions of dollars and he has jets and he has Bentleys and Mercedes and the crazy house and all that. Realistically, you wouldn't know that unless they show that. So a lot of that simply starts with showing your hand. Right. Now I'll say this.
Realistic though.
Yeah. And so I think that what we tend to our people. So our people, when us not necessarily being used to money, when we do get some money, and then it's just inherent, regardless of whether you preacher, dope boy, whatever. You just you got to see this. I got all this. I need you to see this. So and that's really just a thing on the inside of us. That's a deficiency on the inside of us. Now, there's also, whether you call them celebrity pastors or just influential pastors who have these things, but you don't know they have them.
Right, for sure.
Because I think they've been taught well. Because if you think about it, like none of us really know, what's his name, like what Bill Gates drive.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Warren Buffett, you don't know what Warren Buffett drive. Yeah. You know what I mean? You just don't know. But they understand how wealth works to where it doesn't have to be seen all the time.
Right.
I think a lot of scrutiny people do tend to get. Some of it is warranted on themselves because they show too much. That's just my opinion.
Right. And that goes to frankly with the bodyguards. You need that because your celebrityism then did too much.
Right. And the flip side of it too is like not every pastor is crooked.
No, for sure.
Not everybody's doing the wrong things, but there are certain things I think we aren't taught when we do get to a certain level of, whether it's income or just influence,
right,
or how to manage it well.
For sure.
Because you can get it really misconstrued just by how you present. You can even have good intentions, but you also have to be self-aware. Like if I got all this stuff, but nobody around me has much, then there's a disconnect.
It just don't look right.
Not only does it not look right, but what's like something's really not like what's going on.
Right.
It's a phrase I would say all the time. If I'm free but everybody around me is still a slave, I'm just an escapee.
Right. Right. You have done that.
But if all of us get freed, then that's freedom.
Right.
So you see people would escape from the
but they ain't come back getting no.
Right. And so my thought process is, if I'm gonna have it, I gotta at least be sharing something. Now you can't necessarily share with everybody, but you can empower people around you to empower people around them.
Right.
You got the trickle down effect. Right. But I do understand exactly what you're saying as far as celebrity pastors and how the money get funny and stuff get a little weird.
Right.
And I don't co-sign that at all because I've seen it all too. I've seen a lot more than some being in back rooms at times and being around people. But I also recognize that people are people.
True.
You know what I mean? True. So let's say you have an anger problem, just because you got famous don't mean you got an anger problem.
Right.
You know what I mean? So let's say if you were a selfish person and you're not the type of person to share, the worst thing you probably could do is make a lot of money.
Right.
But it happens. You know what I'm saying? Like you might be talented though.
That is some duck shit.
Oh man.
Swimming in the money.
But can you imagine? So let's say there's a selfish preacher or something, unfortunate, but it might be, right? So him getting money is not, and you be like, man, what's going on with you? Why ain't nobody else eating? But he's just a selfish person. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Well, you might have the flip side. Somebody might be real generous, So I've had to learn how to judge people as people.
And I'm big on that, man. That's awesome, man. And, I said that comment. I want to give my dad and my brother reply to that, and they were saying that, for one, why can't the preacher live good? And then they would say a lot of times the congregation, they want their preacher to look good, so they buy them cars and get them things because that's my church. My preacher gonna ride around, black, black.
Yeah. I get it. I understand.
And then another thing he said, when God bless you to speak to a lot of people, He might bless you with a Learjet. Because you got to reach you farther, you got to go out more. And that was their rebuttal to the situation. And I just want to put that out there since I put the other side of it.
Yeah.
And
I get it.
And that's all good.
I totally get it. Yeah, I totally get it. I mean, it's like, if you look at it, so let's say, especially like on YouTube, right? How people have their favorite YouTube influencers. And so it means something to them when they can see them and they're looking good, they're dressed up, they're fly, all of that. The artists, all of these things. And I'm not necessarily saying it should mirror that way, like in the church per se, but again, people being people, if somebody is influencing you, it's a disconnect if they don't look it.
Right.
It's a disconnect if they don't live it.
Right.
Sure. If you're going to tell me how a better life is possible, but you don't have the fruit of that, it's hard for me to believe that. Because I know I've seen the problem when you see somebody, man, listen, you can have it all. And you're like, well, bro, you ain't got none of it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? What we talking about?
You can't tell me nothing if you ain't doing that.
Why you ain't doing it?
And the flip side of that is you still got to be mindful that, because you may have more than others. It's how that's seen. Yeah. It's how you hold that. You know what I mean? I can't be like I'm stunting on you.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's good to be an influence, but with morals.
Sure.
Keep the morals high.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I would say. That's what I would say. Yeah.
Right. You got any more questions on this topic? I'm going to move on to another topic.
His music, I have.
Well, let's get into all that.
Oh, okay. Now I didn't talk about your music.
It is.
Right, because she was over there like, I was like, damn,
music it is.
Let's do it, man.
I want to talk about how you pick out some of your collabs, like Mr. Richie Righteous. Let me see, which one is it? I Am That I Am.
Yeah.
I love that album.
Awesome.
That is awesome. Yeah. How did you find Mr. Richie?
So, funny enough, years and years and years ago, you know Jose?
Yeah. Real good. Well, you talking about
Goose Creek Jose.
Yeah.
I met him through a mutual friend.
Right.
Years and years and years ago, he actually came down here to do a concert, and Jose invited me out. Came to see him. Killed it. I mean, killed it.
Jose, I know you, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, and he's from Queens, New York. And so, came down, visited, did the show. We ended up connecting. He heard that I produce. You know, production gets you in a lot of doors.
Okay.
I was like, yeah, man, send me some beats. Send him some beats. Kind of started off a relationship that way. Just song after song after song after song. Ended up actually doing some music together. And man, we just been locked in ever since.
So I Am That I Am.
Yeah.
That's I Am That I Am. Whose idea was that? Who did the writing on that? 'Cause that was dope.
I came up with the chorus and the first verse, and that's all I had to the song at first. And I just sent him the idea. So we do that at times where we'll get an idea, record the little piece we got, send it to the other person, like, man, what you think? Is this gonna work? He's like, I love it. You know, we actually got another song coming out soon. And so he started writing this part. He's like, yeah, let's go with it. So I started out, I wrote the chorus and the first verse, and we just built off from there.
Man, that's awesome. Bro.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to ask about They Lied to You from the Blueprint album.
Okay.
You talked about social media and YouTube's effect on people, the industry. What's the story behind? Because that is a strong.
Right.
That applies to.
Yeah, it is true. Well, relationship gurus, right? Mm-hmm. That's a big space right now, right?
Got it.
You know
I'm so tired of them.
Hey, who ain't tired?
I'm tired of them. They lied to you. They lied to you.
They lied.
Most of them single and in bad marriages anyway.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I do my research. You know me.
So that's pretty much the premise of it. It's like, and so many people take that information and like, man, they'll base their life on it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, these people are lying to y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? Not only is it not real or they haven't proven these theories, this is nothing to back up what they're talking about.
Right, sure.
TikTok
and it sounds crazy too anyways.
Yeah.
Like, what we talking
You don't
about?
need that no more, man.
That's the premise of where that came from. Because I just really got fed up. I was like, man, they lying. You know what I'm saying?
I'm so glad
You know they lying.
You know, maybe that's because you live in truth, right?
Yeah.
Because of your relationship with God.
Right.
At some point, you just get tired of people feeding you lies.
Yeah.
Like, ain't no way.
I got really tired of people buying it.
Yeah.
So people can lie, but people like really like
into it.
Yeah. I'm like, no, this is not. So that I just got fed up.
And I love TikTok, but when I hear people say, "Oh no, I went to TikTok University," I'm like,
Yeah.
Do you know how many TikToks I've seen, even like the travel ones,
Right?
where people are like, "Oh, if you go here, you will have this type of experience. You shouldn't go there." I've actually lived in some of those places, and I can tell you that's not the truth. You know, so you're looking at it like, "Wow, this person has a huge platform," and they lying.
And don't understand that people actually have insight on these subjects. And you're like, man, they lying to y'all.
Yeah.
And sometimes the truth they say that the lie will take 2 laps around the world while the truth is still putting his shoes on. It's like, but it's real, the truth is real slow to get out. You can be saying it and people be lying, but I had to say something. So
that takes me into Bar Fight.
Okay.
On Blood Cousins.
Yep. So that's Jose. Me and Jose did that together.
Okay.
So that's Jose.
Okay, for sure. Because I love it. Because I was like, first of all, Blood Cousins. Is this really like the album cover? I'm like, it's gospel.
So here's the thing. So me and Jose have been like super good friends, brothers for so many years. We've done music for so many years that it's almost like we just feel like cousins. You know what I mean? You know how you have play cousins coming up. But you've been together, you've been cool so long. You're not really friends no more. It's like beyond friends. You know what I mean? And we were just, man, that's cuz. You know what I mean? And it's like, let's do this project together. So we collaborated on the project.
Dope project.
For me, like he's like one of my favorite artists. As far as rapping goes, that boy can rap. You can rap, you know what I mean? He's like real humble with it. He's like, man, I'm like, no, bro, you nice, you know. And so I really want to just connect with him on that. Because honestly, he's the type of person where he's like, I can rap, but I'm not really pursuing it like that.
Yeah,
but and you know, that's kind of how I know him. Like people who like got it.
Yeah, the talent.
They don't like. They be like, I'm cool. You know what I mean? And you know that.
Right.
And so I'm like, man, come on, man, put the music out. You know what I'm saying? Let's do something.
Right.
And he's like, well, if you do it, I'll do it. So
there you go.
Come on, man, let's do it. So that's kind of how that started. I was like, well, listen, I'm gonna get you to rap, bro. We gonna rap. So that's how it was birthed.
I loved Bar Fight because the title. First of all, I'm like,
I
gotta see what this is about.
Yeah.
And then once again, you were dropping straight knowledge.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? From beginning to end in the most creative way. And I feel like you really found a niche in that, for sure.
I'll take it, yeah.
And then I also wanted to bring up vibes.
Okay.
That's a whole vibe.
Yeah. That's
all in of itself.
Yeah.
That's all. So it's instrumental.
Instrumentals, yes.
Please tell us.
Yeah,
more about it. Put the people on.
So it's a very interesting story how that came about. That's pandemic music.
Okay.
So when everybody was home and everybody was trying to figure it out.
Right.
You know.
Sure.
Bored at the house, COVID's happening, nobody's moving around, and you know, I had an opportunity to have time to kind of just try different things. I was like, man, you know, I never put out instrumental projects, but I've always wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Had the time to. You know, and a good friend of mine, Barry, me and him were kind of talking back and forth. Like,
What's
man,
it?
you know, yeah, be washed.
Okay, I know
Hey,
All right.
Hey, we all came together.
Yeah.
Right.
So Be Wash,
For sure.
So actually, me and Be Wash, we actually did some production on this group that we worked on called Tribe, and in the process of that, us just building, man, we ended up doing all kinds of music. He put out an instrumental project. I put out an instrumental project. Right. We actually did back when Clubhouse was moving.
Okay,
yeah. We had a little channel on Clubhouse, Tribe Radio and stuff like that. So I just really wanted to just kind of flex my skills in the instrumental side of things.
You flexed, okay? Because first of all, vibes is not just any instrumental.
Okay.
You have really taken your time. Like there's one called Rain, right?
Yeah.
And then you have one with purple. Purple's my favorite color.
Okay.
So again, I'm like, gotta hear it. What is he
Yeah.
And
sure.
you really like, it's more like focused kind of music to give people kind of an idea who don't know what we're talking about. Where you can really like vibe out and you can actually hear Purple, right? You can hear Rain. I thought you did an amazing job.
Thank you.
That, man.
I appreciate
That's super dope.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And that was the idea behind it, you know what I mean? Just having something to kick back, chill, you know, just be calm, meditate, relax, and focus. Like
right.
Yeah, so that was the idea behind it all.
For sure. And then let me see. I want to talk about your collabs this year. I'm going up.
Yeah, my boy
with
C Blood. Yeah.
It goes hard.
Little bruh.
How you find him? How you find C Blood?
Again, he's one of my little brothers, but he's a grown man now. I ain't trying to dish him, man. I ain't trying to, you know what I'm saying? But, man.
Is he a gospel rapper too?
Yeah.
So C Blood.
C Blood.
See, that's what I'm saying. You off, right?
But here's the funny thing about it. His last name is really Blood.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like he made it up.
There you go.
But like everybody says it like, C Blood. Like, his last name is actually Blood. So it just sticks out. And then Carl Blood.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so, yeah, man, since he's been like 12 or 13. You know what I mean? Like, now he actually lives in the UK.
Okay.
Yeah. Beautiful wife, beautiful little boy. He's from here, from Charleston.
That's crazy.
Met his wife. Ended up, I'm gonna let him tell the story. Y'all gonna have him on the pod.
Right.
But I'll just say
he
had to. Right at the pandemic, he had to move to the UK. It's like split decision.
Oh wow.
Because they were shutting down travel.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to get married, and he wouldn't have been able to if he didn't leave.
Make that move.
So he ended up moving to the UK. He's been over there for about 4 or 5 years now. But he's always in the States. He comes back.
Right.
So yeah, this year I'm going up. What we started to do, we didn't do one this year. What we started to do probably about 3 years ago is try to get what we like to call an anthem to drop every January. So the year before that, we had dropped Joy, and then last year it was I'm Going Up. So we just try to keep a little theme going. Didn't get a chance to get one off this year, probably next year. But but that's my guy. That's my guy, my boy. That's what's up. Blood. Yep.
So last one.
Yeah.
I was sitting there too long. Listen, like I said, I'm a super fan now.
Thank you. Glad you like the music.
Super fan. So you, I noticed like 2 of your songs. Let me see.
Yes.
It was one. Is it How Great You Are?
Yeah, How Great You Are. Yeah.
And then the other one was All I See Is Blessings.
Yes.
And you basically took some popular, old school gospel,
Old
How
school.
Great Thou Art.
I'm gonna tap in.
And then
I missed some stuff.
You did a little rain down on me. Talk about that. How did you, you know what I'm saying?
So
mix it in there.
That's it. So that's the idea, really adding both of those sensibilities in, right?
Yes.
Something that you're familiar with,
Right.
with what's now. Kind of making sure that it can go in multiple places.
Sure.
Right?
Yes.
Trying to take the barriers away. You know what I mean?
Beautiful.
And so a lot of that is intentional, some of it not as intentional.
Right.
But and again, I come from the church. Since I was a kid, so those are songs I love too, as most people do, right? So I'm like, man, I gotta get in there. You know what I mean?
I'm like, my praise dancers gotta get on this. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Yeah, thank you.
You have a beautiful catalog, amazing catalog. If you have not checked it out, you are missing out for sure.
Hey, check it out. Choice with a Y.
With a Y.
Y-C-E, yeah.
Man,
C-H-O-Y-C. Yep.
Then we can definitely move on. I'm sorry. I had to get my shit real quick. I'm gonna let you make it.
Okay. I'm here. You got questions? I'm here.
Hey man, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go back and do some more research too.
Yeah.
Apparently, you got one for me. I got one. So I got me excited as a motherfucker. I got old school. I got one, but all right, we gonna get that one. You know, cause tight work, man.
Yeah, man.
Do tight work.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
For sure.
That's what's up, man. You know what I'm saying? So apparently, you had a podcast with your wife.
Yes.
You know that hit home for me too.
Yeah.
Because my wife is very entertaining, and I was planning on doing a podcast with her, but we on 2 different levels. You know, urban. And you know, and people always tell us when they are around us, y'all should have a podcast because we just communicate like that,
right?
You know, but it haven't happened, you know. But you know, whatever it is. But how has that journey been with you? What's the name of the podcast? You know, what's the pros and cons?
It's not a podcast. It's
a love cast.
That's
right.
Love cast. See, if I came like that, my wife would have been on it too.
It's a love cast, y'all. It's called the Joyce Team Love Cast.
Love it.
My last name is Joyce. It's kind of funny because our email address had that name in it, the Joyce Team, right? And everywhere we would go, like, you know, if you got to write it down or something, people like, I like that name, Joyce Team, and then they click on us like,
that's what
let's just go with the Joyce Team instead of a podcast.
Right.
Love cast.
Yeah.
Me and
I never heard that. You made that up. You
yeah. Me and wifey with the love cast.
I think it's in the dictionary. Man.
I love it. Yeah, it's been going really well.
I was gonna say, what are some of the pros and cons of working with your spouse? Not only that, but sharing your lives.
Yeah.
Because you guys are being very honest.
We are.
Front. I've watched some of the podcasts. They're very enjoyable.
We are.
Have you had? How's the feedback been on that? And
good.
And how does it affect the two of you?
I mean, and so we don't ever catch each other off guard. You know what I mean?
Good.
We talk about everything we're going to talk about. Sure. And me and her just have a real open conversation because we talk like that anyway.
Yeah, you can tell the vibe is
really
natural.
wasn't hard to just cut the camera on all right, let's just record ourselves talking to each other. Yeah, I mean, we would get just questions all the time about just relationship stuff. This year will be 20 years.
I was about to say congratulations.
June 4th. 20 years this year, and so. Just staying power, just all type of questions we would get, like, you know, when this happens, how do you respond? Some women would ask my wife stuff, dudes would ask me stuff, and some couples would just ask us just things. And then we just got interesting stories too as well.
Right, after 20 years, I would think so, right?
Seen a lot, done a lot.
Right.
And you know, and again, kind of going back to we were talking about earlier about, you know, people just saying all kind of crazy stuff. And what we tend to notice, and this is kind of what kind of made us do it, we would recognize that people with healthy relationships, they really didn't talk a whole lot. Cause they just having fun. You know what I mean?
They're enjoying each other.
Chilling.
Keeping their business private.
Right. But the kind of the bad part of that is because nobody really talking a lot.
You don't see it.
And now you get left with the lying.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
All the bad shit and shit.
All the
bad stuff.
So it's like, you know what? Let's just do this. You know, and then we begin to like it more. We actually got more into the interviewing side. We kind of start off just more me and her talking. Right. Now we're doing a little more interviews, and I like it. I don't mind talking. As you can see, we chopping it up. You know, and kind of getting her out of her shell a little bit. But she's doing really well. Yeah, she's doing really good.
Yeah, y'all are a dream team. I enjoy it. Yeah, it's
thank you.
And you know, I admire it because, like I said, I know me and my wife have the same thing. You know, the issue she got with it is, like you say, you talk how you talk to each other. Yeah. And you know, and my wife, I get aggressive sometimes. But it'll be on the show. Yeah. Right. And she's like, why are you talking to me like that? That's what I talk, you know. And you would see the dynamics, and we did some stuff that, you know, but we ain't put it out or whatever. And I just admire it because I know when you got a common goal with your significant other, and you know, that just brings that bond.
Right, yeah.
You know, you join together to talk about it, and something to communicate about. Both be all excited about it. Yeah. You know, so I mean, I admire it. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, yeah.
That's what's up, man.
Keep just communication. So, because we've learned how to communicate.
Right.
Showing that we know how to communicate has been very good. Right. Because we hear that a lot. People like, man, how do you communicate? And, you know, people have trouble communicating. For sure.
Yeah.
In relationships.
Especially when they're mad.
Right.
But
see, you know, we know different. Initially, we used to just blow up.
Right. Say what's on your mind.
Right. So learning how to work through that. Learning how to talk through those things. So, you know, just stuff like that.
And, you know, that's real because one of the things when we did do an audio podcast with my wife, one of the things that I realized that we communicate better because we know we being heard. Right. So you're being respectful to each other. Yeah. And you know, because she was saying stuff like, "Oh man, you know, I really appreciate you being a good dad." And I'm like, "Damn, mother, you never." I mean to curse so much, but damn, you ain't never. You know, I don't handle this otherwise. And you love each other. You're not gonna portray each other in a bad way.
Exactly. Right.
You know, you can highlight each other.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that even, you know, we brought up together after we did it. It was like, damn, we talk better, you know. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's up, man.
Yeah, well, finding those different things that bring you together, man, is always good for the relationship. Yeah, always good for it. And whatever that may be. Whether that's podcast or whether that's just, I don't know, get some ice cream, something. Okay, there you go. Yeah, that's it.
Find a space.
That's it. Find it. Yeah.
But one of the things I love about the show is that y'all do leave people with some tidbits and things that they can do at home.
Yes.
So they have something called love exercises. And your wife talked about the 90-second igniter, which I think is so important. It's something I actually talked about at church with the health ministry.
Well, all right now.
90-second igniter. But I wanted you to talk to the people about the love exercises. And what's your favorite?
So, love exercises really is, going back to what you're saying, it was kind of tips that we sat back and we thought about, so what are some things that we do, right, that, you know, just help, we had to kind of break down our relationship. The time we wake up in the morning, stuff we do throughout the day that we know helps our relationship. Whether that's, when I wake up in the morning, the extended hug, the extended embrace, right? Or like when we do text each other all day long, you know, or not all day long. I can't say all day long, but we make sure that we touch bases,
right,
throughout the day. You know what I
mean?
Right. Gotta communicate. You know, making space whether you're doing a lunch date here and there, because you can't do it all the time.
Right. Sure.
But just making sure you're making time for what's really important, what matters the most. With her being, you know, top priority in my life. I definitely do any and everything I can to make sure she understands that. But I love her for real. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so it's easy.
Yeah. It's like a real friend.
Right.
Real friend.
You
know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, and we just noticed that, you know, couples weren't always friends.
True. They don't always. You'd be surprised how many couples don't actually like each other as a person. Right. They're there for different reasons.
Yeah, like what we doing? You know what I mean? Like, you don't like each other though?
Not for real.
How you don't like each other though?
I be liking my wife all the time.
Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day,
you love her and you appreciate her. Relationship, they really don't like.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like enemies, like how you,
Right. I mean, our dynamic, we understand that we've been together since high school.
Right.
And I love it. You know what I'm saying? She's a good influence on me, and that's really what I love about it. You know, I know I need it. You know what I'm saying? She's my yin to my yang.
Yeah, right,
you know
right.
But you know, and she speaks her truth all the time.
Yeah.
You know, but it's irritating time.
right. I get it.
No lies.
I get it.
But before we close out,
yes.
Since we talked about truth, and I think you both have great experience in relationship, and we'll talk to the expert.
Yeah, well, I won't say expert.
Okay.
I've been in there about 20 years.
Somebody with some knowledge.
Okay,
right?
she said expert. I
Also
connected
also connected to truth, right? The 50-50 conversation.
Okay.
How practical is it really
now,
to go into a relationship
ahead.
and basing whether that person is fit to become a spouse off of their willingness to go 50-50?
Okay.
Is that practical?
Now, when you say 50,
yeah, I'm gonna say 50-50.
So what do you mean when you say 50-50? What does 50-50 mean to you when you say 50-50?
What does it mean to them? Because I don't believe in 50-50.
Oh, wow.
What does it mean to them?
Yeah, I mean, is that
It's financial. It's financial.
Okay.
It's responsibility. It's kind of taking away the gender roles and if it's 50-50 on deck with everything.
Yeah. Man can't be 50.
And do you
75-25 maybe.
in a marriage?
Right.
Because I have my own philosophy.
Yes.
But the conversation on social media, a lot of this 50-50. And Gabrielle Union came out and said she went into her marriage. Gabrielle Union went into her marriage with Dwayne Wade.
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
Asking for 50-50.
Yeah.
But then realizing that some days she only had 10, some days she have nothing, so she had to back on the 50-50.
Like, sir, you got
you make way more money than me. Why am I paying half the mortgage?
Right.
So, I mean, to me, it's not really practical. But for those who are still in that space.
Yeah. Well, I would say you have to know, first of all, what's gonna work for your relationship, right? Sure. Now I don't believe in 50-50. That's just me. I definitely believe in 50-50. Simply because so you hear people say a lot, like I need balance, balance. But life really is not balanced because everything doesn't weigh the same, right? Like your family means more than, so you got priorities, right? And then you got other stuff that don't weigh the same, right? So it's never really going to be balanced. It's just what you prioritize, right? So if I prioritize my wife's happiness, making sure everything is smooth at the crib, that the family is good, I'm going to put in a lot of effort that sometimes you can't really put a percentage on that, right? And vice versa. Like she's gifted in all kind of stuff. I ain't. First of all, I'm not that great of a cook. I'm gonna be honest with you. But she's like bomb with the food. Right. So I mean, if you're looking at me to cook, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Do you want to eat? Do you want to enjoy it?
How we gonna 50-50 that? We can't 50-50 that. It don't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
So you really gotta find what makes sense for your relationship. Well, what I would say though is that I don't think it should be a burden though. Sure. Whatever it is, it shouldn't be a burden. Like the other person shouldn't feel burdened by your setup. You know what I mean? Whatever that may be. Because when people feel burdened, that's when they feel weighted down. They're like, man, this ain't working. They feel like they can't take it no more. It's too much. Right. So I would just say, man, judge it in order of importance. Where that lays on that scale and build around that. True. And what makes your house work? Some people, they do believe in splitting bills. Some people where you might have one person maybe paying 80, 20. You got to figure out your house. You know what I mean? Right. But whatever it is, again, I think once you come to the understanding as a unit, this is how it's gonna flow. Right. This is how it's gonna work, and it makes sense. And we aren't stressed behind the decision. Right. I think you'll be set up for success. Right. Otherwise, if you just come in and say, gonna be this way, I don't care what nobody say, it's gonna be 50-50, you know what I'm saying? Right. that's not real. It's not practical, and I don't think you're setting yourself up to win.
And I think that's why a lot of the social media stuff isn't really practical because it's very rigid. If he doesn't do this, he don't love you. If he doesn't act this way, he don't want you. If she doesn't do this, she's not faithful. And it's really, like you said, it's a lot more fluid than that. Well, and you got to see what works for you.
Yeah. Well, one of the things about the 50-50, I almost wanted to push you off the couch and jump over there and answer the question from my point of view because you know that's one thing.
Yes, sir.
In social media, the thing about 50-50 is, I know this is I talked to a shorty before, and I was like, yo, for one, I just feel like the man always, no matter. You got to be if she call you and say no matter. See, you can't have a joint.
I already know what you're saying.
You can't have a joint account because you see the count zero. You still calling me saying what we gonna do. You see the account zero. So it's never gonna be 50-50. But at the same time, if I fall short, you should be in a position to carry me.
Okay.
If I need to be carried.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I need to be carried right now.
Okay. Yeah.
But when I get back to where I need to be at, I'm back to the one that you call and say, what we gonna do. Right. And it'll never be 50-50 to me because I just feel like as a man that you always need to be strong enough. But if I fall short, I need you to pick me the fuck up. I ain't mean to say curse and stuff, but I need you to pick me up and carry me too. Until I can get back to be the man I'm supposed to be. Right. And that's why I don't think it's 50-50.
But now, going to what you're saying is, there needs to be a level of maturity that you both have to understand that life got ups and downs.
Right.
And being able to handle that, because if you're with the wrong person, they ain't going to understand that.
They ain't going to,
You know, that's kind of what we hear a lot on social media where it just seems like a lot of the wrong people trying to talk to each other.
I'm trying to tell you.
Like, man, fine, we work for y'all, because I don't think y'all would be fussing as much if y'all, you know what I mean? Everybody, obviously you see y'all don't work out. You know what I mean?
Why are you
don't see the way they see it. They definitely don't see it the way you see it.
Right.
I don't think y'all should be trying. You know what I mean? But at the same time, kind of going back to what you said, that's life, though. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But not everybody understands to that level of maturity that it will take where, let's say, even if you are the provider, the breadwinner, usually, life can hit you too.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And depending on, how your mate looks at it. Because I've heard the horror stories too, man, where, bruh be doing good. And he hit a little rough patch.
Right. Yeah.
She like, hey, bro, I ain't signing for this.
Right.
Technically, you did. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, for real, better or worse, technically, you really did. You know what I'm saying?
But people start leaving that out of the vows now. They're saying what they mean. You got to watch that.
And so it's one of those things where it's like, that's why sometimes it is really good to kind of pump your brakes. Some people don't, again, they don't belong together. That's my opinion, you know what I mean? But when you do find the right one, I think that'll be one of the things that it's not a fight to get an understanding.
Right.
It's like, we understand, life can life. Because the flip side of it is, if you are in a place where you're breadwinning and you're taking care of a lot of stuff, there's an appreciation for that too.
For sure.
Right.
And when that appreciation is felt, it is also understood if something were to happen where the roles got to reverse for a little season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The respect
you both know how to do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, okay, well, I'm going to show appreciation to you.
Yeah.
Right? Because you had to step up for a little bit.
And you did.
But you also understand, you know, what that looks like. But not everybody can do that.
Right.
And I understand that. It's 2025. The rules are different out here.
But that's why y'all love casters.
We love casters.
Yeah,
that's what I
used to call you church back in the day. You went to church?
Yeah. That's my old nickname.
That's the name I know.
Church.
Hey, your world, my opinion, man. We're going to do a part 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Sure, let's do it.
Because we got a lot to talk about, man. That's what we all about, man. We enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna connect with you.
Let's do it.
This is all God driven.
Hey,
because you got what I need right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As far as moving and all that. Your world, my opinion, man. Honey J, what's up?
Anything you want to leave the people with, and then please
put out all your tags and platforms
right now. This your camera.
All right. Listen, your world, my opinion. Appreciate y'all having me out on the night. I am Choice. I go by @Choice Music. On all social media, that's @CHOYCEMUZIK. I know it's a little different spelling, but @Choice Music. Or the business, that's @Winfluencer Media or Winfluencer Media Strategies. just hit me up on whatever platform you're on, and we can connect that way. If you want to do business, if you want to check out the music, whatever you want to do, tap in.
Love it.
Man, you don't run my opinion, bro.
Yes, sir.
One more time. You have to take me about $5, man.
55 niggas.
You know what
Hey, he said he's gonna
man.
get 20.
100K out, yo. Hey.
Yes, thank you.
This
Thank
is
you
what we
so
do,
much.
man.
I'm
Oh,
glad,
thank you.
great to have you.
Glad to be here.
You run my opinion.
All right.
Yeah. Ooh. I've been on it about his business since I jumped up off the post. Do your Googles, do your research, ask about me, boy, I go super hard. When it comes down to the Lord. Got them all singing, oh Lord. This boy here so raw. Oh my God, since the jit when I jumped off the post, I've been swinging, that's all that I know. That shit. They forgot I go hard when they don't. You see, never stop, it's okay. I reload. How did they even question where my head is at? Leveling up and losing, no, we dead in it. Sorry for the confusion, ain't no helping that. Only thing I'll be doing, getting better back. God is my witness, he said in fact. Part for the kingdom, you good, they can't edit that. I see the jug on my head of that. I be in places they never had. Let me just play it back. I've been on it about his business since I jumped up off the post. Do your Googles, do your research, ask about me, boy, I go super hard. When it comes down to the Lord. Got them all singing, oh Lord. This boy here so raw. I've been on it about his business since I jumped up off the post. Do your Googles, do your research, ask about me, boy, I go. Hold up, foe. Upgraded to a 10 from a donut, foe. I hate when you pretend you don't know us, foe. I know you know him, so you know us, foe. For real. Deal with it. Ain't no quoting for catchers, we real with it. Playtime over, they rap with no feeling it. We gon' snap to your soul, catch that feeling it. Yeah, they feeling it. Hate it or love it, we ill with it. Say what you want on the internet, now we ain't finished yet. Boy, this ain't even a little flex. They be selling their soul for a little chick. Hold up. What you know about when he start the show out? Got the whole squad out here killing it. Hold up. Got my own without selling my soul. Kingdom life come with the benefits. I've been on it about his business since I jumped up off the post. Do your Googles, do your research, ask about me, boy, I go super hard. When it comes down to the Lord. Got them all singing, oh Lord. This boy here so raw. I've been on it about his business since I jumped up off the post. Do your Googles, do your research, ask about me, boy, I go.